Hi, I'm Rita. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Life Worth Reading. Today, I want to talk to you about the books that I would like to read in May. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, weren't you going to stop doing monthly TBRs and weren't you going to start doing seasonal TBRs? And the answer is yes. I have been doing seasonal TBRs for a little bit now, but I don't know why. I've just been in a great mood lately and I've just been drawn to filming monthly TBRs again. I felt really excited to do so in April, and I don't know, I just want to carry on the vibe through May. We'll see how long this lasts because I fear it's not going to last a long time, but I've been really into doing monthly TBRs again, so I really wanted to ride that wave and show you some of the books that I'm planning on reading in May. Again, this will be a very ambitious TBR for what I think I could read in May because May is going to be a little bit of a chaotic month. One of my best friends is getting married, which is going to be so exciting. It's my first wedding ever and I'm just so happy for her and I'm just so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a beautiful time, but that weekend is all for the wedding and I'm also going to be working that weekend because of something in my job, so that weekend is just for that. And then we have another weekend in May that's going to be the, oh my god, what do you call it? I completely forgot. The bachelorette party, is that it? Yeah, so we're going to have a bachelorette party that's going to be taking up the entire weekend. So that's 2 weekends out of May that I will not be doing any reading. I do not foresee myself doing any reading. So is this pile overly ambitious? Exaggerated? Yes. But I'm in the mood for it. So without further ado, let's just discuss the books that I'm planning on reading in May. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. I think that's better. First of all, I want to talk to you about a book that I feel like I'm finally ready to reread and to continue on with the series, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I think it's finally time for me to reread this book and hopefully move on with the rest of the series. This is a Knights of the Round Table inspired YA fantasy about our main character Bree, who goes on to college for a summer internship kind of thing, and she ends up discovering on campus that magic is real. There is this whole secret society of magicians that mimics the Knights of the Round Table lore, and she is also trying to find out what happened to her mother because now her mother's death seems a little bit suspicious under this new light, and she's coming into her own powers as well. And I don't remember a lot of this book. I think I read it 4 years ago. At the time I also wasn't very familiar with the Knights of the Round Table lore and legend, so I really was not a huge fan of that aspect because I just couldn't really understand it very well. But I feel like now I'm going into it with a new perspective and new eyes, and I really want to read this book because I think it's going to be something that I'm really going to love this time around, more than just liking it okay. I think I'm really going to love it, and I think it's finally time for me to do it. I was kind of dreading it because it's absolutely ginormous, but I bought this beautiful hardcover and I need to know if I can justify buying the rest of the series in hardcovers as well, or if I should just stop reading the series and unhaul this book. Then we have this random ass book that I took out from my library. This is not a book that I would usually read, but whenever I see books at my library that I am interested in, I have to take a loan on them, and that's what I did with A Divine Rivals by Miss Rebecca Ross. Do I think this is going to go well? I really don't know. I'm not a huge fantasy romantasy girly at heart, but there have been books that have surprised me. Emily Wilde. So I'm ready to give this a shot. I think the cover is absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, the fact that I found this at my library was a sign for me to just try it out. I could just as well read it on my Kindle, obviously, but whenever I do see books at my library, I just think that it's high time for me to try them out. If I don't enjoy it, I can just give it back, no harm done. So I'm going to try this out. I have no idea what this is about. I know that there are two journalists and they are rivals, but I don't really know why they're rivals. So let me read you the little synopsis that is here. When two rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. After centuries of sleep, the gods are wearing again. Expelled into the middle of a mystical war, magical typewriters in Tau, can Iris and Roman, unlikely bond, withstand the fight for the fate of mankind and, most importantly, love? So they're going into hell together. Sounds like a fun date to me. So I'm excited to read this book. I'm excited to give this a try. We'll see what I think of it. Again, if I don't like it, no harm done. But let me know what you thought of Divine Rivals, because I also wanted to read A River Enchanted by this author. I know that came first, but I think I'm going to try this one first and see if I enjoy the writing style enough to move on to that duology as well. Keeping up with the fantasy momentum that we have going on, I think I haven't talked to the friend that I'm going to be buddy reading this with yet, but I think that we're going to be buddy reading The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson in May, because we're currently finishing The Final Empire. So we're going to finish that before the month of April ends, and hopefully we'll be moving on to The Well of Ascension in May. I refuse to read the synopsis because I have not finished The Final Empire, so I cannot read what this book is about. But basically listen, you probably know what the Final Empire Mistborn trilogy is about, but in case you don't, it's about a city named Luthadel, and I think it's our world, but for 1,000 years, ash has fallen from the sky because the Lord Ruler has supposedly, he bid something called the Darkness. He has saved humankind from it, but when he came into power, he basically enslaved a whole part of the population named Ska, and he kept the wealth and power to himself and to the great houses of nobility. So it's basically like a feudal system, or similarly to that. And we have our main character, Vin and Kelsier. Vin discovers that she is a Mistborn, who is someone that has great power, and the power is given to them when they ingest metals, and different metals have different abilities. I'm having a lot of fun figuring out that magic system, and I think it's really, really interesting and well done. And then we have our main character, Kelsier, who is trying to overthrow the government and the Lord Ruler. And will they be able to do it? I don't know, because I haven't finished the book. So I refuse to be reading the synopsis. But I do know now what the Well of Ascension is, so I'm curious to know how that will be the main focus of this book. And I'm having a great time. I don't think Brandon Sanderson's writing, specifically in the series, is all that great. I think there are a lot of fantasy writers who write more lyrically that I enjoy reading more of, but the plot really is great, the characters are great, and I'm having a good enough time. So I cannot wait to continue on with the series. I want to continue on because if I don't do like one a month, if I don't continue on with the series immediately, I will be leaving series hanging for months if needed. So I really do have to get through this one, and I'm excited to do so. And finally, in terms of fantasy, hopefully I will be reading Silverborn by Jessica Townsend. This is book 4 in the Nevermore series. I have pre-ordered it and it will get here, I think, on May 8th. And I'm hoping that before the end of the month, I will have read this one. I'm going to be rereading the entire series starting, I think, this week that is coming up. So I'm really excited to get to book 4. I have no idea what Jessica Townsend has in store for us. I just know that this book was 5 years in the making, and I don't know what I'll do if I have to wait 5 years for the 5th one. So hopefully Miss Jessica will not take that much of a time between books, because I have been suffering a lot. But yeah, hopefully I'll be reading that one. That is really exciting because I have all the beautiful hardcovers, and I cannot wait to get the hardcover for Silverborn as well. It's so exciting. And I'm really happy to finally be reading the 4th installment. And please, Jessica, no more 5 years, because I do not want to be 30 when the 5th book comes out. Oh my god. Moving away from fantasy, I have a book that I have been looking at respectfully ever since I bought it earlier this year, and that is Australia by Gerardo Samano Cordova. This is a horror book, kind of. I think it's more sad than just horror, but it's about a mother who loses her son, and she takes a piece out of his lung and creates a monstrilio, who then gains an identity of his own, and it's kind of their child, but it's kind of not. I don't really want to know more before getting into it. I just know that it's a really heartbreaking story about grief and about losing someone, especially a child. But I'm really excited to read this book. It was everyone's favorite, I think 1 or 2 years ago already, and I finally have it, and I cannot wait to get to it. I've been pushing it off a little bit. It's that thing when you think a book is going to be 5 stars, so you just kind of push it off. But I don't want to push it off any longer. I want to read this book, and I think I'm really going to love it, so I cannot wait to get started in May. Then I've really felt a pull to read this book recently, and that is The Mountain Lion by Jean Stratford. I think this book is absolutely gorgeous. It's a Faber edition. I love Faber editions so much. It's really a nice cover. And this book was first published, I think, in 1947, and this is a coming of age story, but it's really, they say, savage. I don't know what to think. In the back it says, she would not feel safe until the beautiful animal was dead. I know that this is about sexual desire. It's a coming of age about 2 siblings in, was it the deep south? No, it's Colorado. So they are sent from Los Angeles to their uncle's mountain ranch. And it says here, their time in the savage, untamed wilderness, hunting, roaming, writing, soon becomes tainted by the dark stirrings of sexual desire. And as the pressures of growing up drive an irrevocable rift between them, their innocent childhoods hurtle towards a devastating end. So I think that it's about growing up and becoming tainted by the mixed feelings that come with growing up. It's blurbed in the back by Lauren Groff, whom I love. And she says, one of the strangest and angriest novels of the 20th century. And I'm just really looking forward to see what Jean Stratford had to say about this topic in 1947. That was such a long time ago. So I'm really excited to find out what she had to say and how it is still or is not relevant to this day. And I have no idea why. I've just been really felt called to read this book, and I want to, you know, I agree with myself. I think it's time to read this book, and if I'm feeling really drawn to it, I am going to hear myself, and I'm going to make time next month to finally read it. And finally, the last book that I want to put on the TBR is actually Mona by Paula Olaixarac. This is a story about Mona, who is a Peruvian writer who goes to a writing campus or something like that. And she finds herself in the midst of a lot of parties and a lot of, you know, less disciplined things, I would say. It says here, when she is nominated for the most important literary award in Europe, Mona sees a chance to escape her son's substance abuse and erotic distraction and leaves for a small village in Sweden. Now she is stuck in the company of her competitors. The writers do what they do: exchange flattery, nurse envy, and private resentment, stab rivals in the back, and go to bed together. But all the while, Mona keeps stumbling across traces of violence on her body, the origins of which she can't or won't remember. So yeah, she first goes to a California campus. It's a very eye-opening experience for her, where she sees a lot of substance abuse and a lot of aggressiveness, and then she moves to or travels to Sweden, and all the while she is finding these bruises or hurts on her body that she does not remember getting or does not know how they got on her body. I think it's going to be a really funny and maybe even more emotional read about what it means to be a writer in the writing world. I love when writers write about that. I think it can be a very toxic environment for authors, and I really want to explore that through this book. So I'm really excited to get to this. Someone in the Black says, Mona reads like Rachel Cusk's Kudos, but on drugs. So that's certainly something. And the New Yorker says, a wicked satire of the literary elite and an exploration of art and violence. which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm excited to read that and to also move a little bit away from fantasy in May. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I want to read in May. Will I be able to do it? I sure doubt it, but I'm nothing if not ambitious. So I'm excited for the month. I know I've been a little bit inconsistent about my TBRs, doing seasonal and then doing monthly. I hope you don't mind that. I've just been trying to really listen to what my intuition says, and this month she was like, make a TBR because that sounds like fun. So I listened to myself and here it is. It has appeared a TBR. I will also this is getting ridiculous at this point. I will also be trying to film a TBR Destruction Project episode in May, and I really don't know when I'll have the time for that, but we'll just have to see. I think that the months after, mostly summer, are going to be a lot more calmer. I will only have work and university things to do, but that's only until the beginning of June. So I think that after that I will have a lot more time to dedicate to reading and to making videos, and I'm just trying to survive every single day. I'm just trying to put out 2 videos a week, 1 sit-down video, 1 vlog. Maybe some weeks I will not have a sit-down video, but I'm just trying to do the best that I can. Anyway, enough yapping. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for bookish content, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you have a nice day, and always remember that life is worth reading.